If you're truly praying those bold prayers, God, search my heart, God, show me the way, give me the stepping stones for each day, He's going to do it.
If you can help the individual, you can help the family, and if you can help those two areas, you can help a whole community. Yeah, it's like 80% of kids in orphanages actually have at least one parent or a relative that could go home to.
As we were selling things, it was like, all right, I'm giving it to you, God.
Chris and Anna, I appreciate you coming on the show. So now you are, would you say, directors or owners of Sozo?
Yeah, we're the directors of Sozo. So we have it's a nonprofit and a whole board and everything. So
okay,
that's our role.
And this is in Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, Tanzania, Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to start it at the beginning. What happened? So you were in America previously before you moved. Okay.
Yeah. Before we do get into that, I do just kind of from a basic summary level. Could you explain a little bit about what Sozo is, what you guys do in Tanzania, and then we'll just kind of go into the backstory of how you guys got started in it?
Yeah.
Take it away.
What Sozo is?
Yeah, what do you guys do?
Oh, okay. So we're an organization that helps to reunify kids with their families. So these are kids that have either been in orphanages. Right now we're dealing with kids that are in an orphanage. And what we found out is most kids actually have families. Whether if they don't have parents, they have uncles and aunts, they have siblings, they have, we're finding that they have family members out there. So it is better for kids to be with their families. So it's God's design. We've realized orphanages, they might have a place temporarily, but I don't know. Our heart is that kids be with their families. I mean, because for me, I can't imagine being an orphan and knowing I had family out there. So, yeah, it's
like 80% of kids in orphanages actually have at least one parent or a relative that could go home to.
80%?
Yeah, it's like 4 out of 5 is the stat. And Sozo means healed, whole, delivered. You can add saved in there too. It depends on who you're talking to, but that's kind of the heart behind it, to heal the whole body, mind, soul, and spirit. It's a full thing, because we believe if you can help the individual, you can help the family, and if you can help those two areas, you can help a whole community. Yeah, which is kind of the whole point of Sozo, the whole thing. Oops, hit the mic.
You're good. No problem.
So that's the gist of Sozo and why it's called Sozo. I don't know how deep you want to get into that question, but
we can definitely touch on it later in detail. I just wanted to give people kind of a background for people that weren't familiar with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's really important too. I think the family unit is the glue.
Yeah. It's God's design. Whether you believe in God or not, I think most people would agree that family is the way that the world goes around. Yeah. That's how things get better and get stronger. Yeah. No matter what your family looks like when you have a family to go home to, a family that you don't age out of, that's kind of what we're shooting for. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. 80%.
80%. And we're finding that most of the parents, most of them are mamas, and they want their kids back. There was a specific reason as to why they were in the orphanage. Maybe we can get into that later, but typically they want them back. They're not just trying to throw them away. It was due to poverty or other circumstances that led to that. So
does the government in Tanzania take them away like they would do in America, or is it kind of different than that?
It's a loaded question.
I know.
Okay. So the correct way is yes, the government doesn't take them away. Well, they could, if they went in and found like they were being abused or something was really wrong. But typically that family won't be able to take care of them, and either those kids were living on the street and the government's trying to find their family, or they'll place them in a home, and that's the proper way to do it. The government has to place them in an orphanage, which is not what happened with the previous center that we kind of inherited, but we can get into that whenever you want. But
that's very interesting.
Yeah, I think now probably would be a good place. Now we have a little bit more context to kind of go back to the beginning. Like, what was the point where you guys kind of got started in all of this?
Yeah. Our first missions trip was in 2023. We went with our son. At that time, he was 11. And we just went for like the 10-day. We're going to go help paint some dorms. We're going to love on the kids. It was, I hate to say this, like a stereotypical missions trip, like a short-term missions trip. You're just excited to go. And, you know, we're like, let's go, let's take our kid with us. And we were going to go in 2020, but COVID, always COVID for everything. And yeah, so we got there and of course it's what you would think. You're entering into like a completely different culture, completely different climate. It's hot. You know, there's like fear of malaria and all of these things that you can catch. And so our minds were kind of racking about that. And our first trip to the orphanage, we got there, and for me, I know that we've talked about this, but I know now that both of us had this like feeling of deep like compassion. It was like this, it's not like, wow, this, I want to just help. I want to love on these kids. It was like deeper than that. We felt in our spirit that like, there was something more to this. And at the end of that trip, what was eye-opening to both of us is we kind of felt like we were leaving home, which is bizarre because, you know, we live in New England where it's like you got 4 seasons and it's a completely different culture, and we love our home in New England. Like we were doing local efforts in like helping to fight against human trafficking and all of these things that God had us doing locally. And he was like giving us this burden for these kids in this orphanage. And what caught me off guard is when we were taking off from Tanzania and we were in the plane and I just started weeping. And I was like, why am I so torn right now? Like, what is going on? And God was like, this is bigger than you think. Like, you feel like you're leaving home for a reason. So
Wow. This was the second time you
It
went
was
back?
the first ever time
Oh, the
we
first
went. It was,
time.
we were only there for 10 days, right?
Oh.
10 days?
2023, yeah.
10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. And usually you go and you're like, wow, that was impactful, right? Like that's what I was thinking was going to happen. And we were plugged in New Hampshire, plugged in with what we're doing. And yeah, that was kind of the start of like God being like, here.
Wow.
So
And-
that was
yeah.
when you were leaving Tanzania, where you
Yeah.
were coming back home. There was
Yeah.
a part of you that almost didn't want to leave because you felt so much compassion.
Right.
for
But
those
it was
people.
like tension because I wanted to go back home and see our other kids, right? But I felt like I was leaving home.
That's interesting because
Yeah.
like you go on a vacation for like 10 days and you're like, oh God, I just want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a totally different experience.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we experienced it a little different, like person to person, but like for me, it was a lot of joy and excitement being there. And I just remember one night we're sitting in the hotel, Anna, our son Charlie, and me, and I was just like, I feel like we could do this all the time. Like we were doing very different things than what we're doing right now,
Right.
but we had gone to the orphanage to meet all the kids and whatever. And there's always this, when you go on a mission trip, people are like, oh, as soon as we saw the kids, they were just so happy and da 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 da, all the things that people say. And when we saw them, we saw
Saw right through
the
it.
smiles, but we also saw that they were fake. We're like,
There was like pain involved in
we're
their
like
smiles.
something's off, but like you're just like you don't really know what to say about it because you're told all the good things, so you're like something is wrong. And then as we're getting like the tour and they're showing us around, then you're seeing like the buildings are falling apart, and like we're eating lunch together and they're telling the kids to go away, and our pastor who was with us was like, no, they need to come eat with us. And it was just like all these weird things that you're just like, why are they being treated like this while we're here? And you just kind of felt like something was off. But we didn't like really
You don't see any of it
anticipate
when you're in
kind
it.
of what
Yeah.
we found out later. So
there's more to come, much worse stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I think for me, I love New England. I love New Hampshire. I'm a homebody. I went to Australia when I was like 20 for school, and I went for like 3 months, and all I wanted to do was come back home. So there's like this huge part of me that's like, man, I want to be over there, but I want to be home so bad. So
That's why it shocked me when I felt that sense of like ripping. Like we're leaving home. But wait, we love our home and it's not here.
And I wanted to talk about what you were doing. What were you guys doing before? You mentioned something about human trafficking. Was that kind of your ministry before you got into this thing with Tanzania?
Wow. Yeah. Ministry kind of goes like far back, not with the human trafficking stuff, but
Okay.
we have been doing local ministry like our whole marriage. We've been married for 18 years. And he was working at a church doing like worship stuff, right? That's what you started with.
yeah, tons of
Like 18 years ago.
such a small church, so-
Everything. When you work in a church, you do
Here's your
everything.
role. Here's your new role.
Here's your new role. So like creative worship pastor, then stage design, then whatever. And through the years, we worked in that same church, was on staff, usually in the creative departments, and then became location pastor in Plymouth in 2017. And then God called us to step down in 2020. So it's been
Not because of COVID.
not because of COVID. I know. It just seems like everything in 2020. Yeah, so we've been doing that. But in 2019, 2018, actually, I started doing a lot of research about human trafficking. Like, what is going on? I'm hearing all this stuff. And God kind of led me to A21 campaign, which is with, what's her name? Christine Kane. And just researching more about like how, wait a minute, this isn't just like something that happens in Afghanistan and all of those places that you think like it happens here too. And then I started researching like locally, oh wow, there was like a trafficking ring in Concord that just got busted. There was one, I'm saying names, I don't know if I should, but I'm about to expose everything. No.
Dox them.
But
Right here.
yeah, so and then I was like, dang, it's also happening in Plymouth, and we're in a mountain town. And you just don't think like, oh, you know, your local pizza joint, this is happening at, because there's a college campus there. And so
The Pizzagate.
yeah, it's I'm telling you, it's not just the like nail salons, you know, the labor trafficking there. It's like all these local places. So my mind started going and going and going. And of course we had like 3 kids at the time. I was pregnant with my 4th, and I'm just like going crazy on this. And yeah, in 2019, I started doing pottery, and I was doing pottery in my basement as like an outlet. And God kind of spoke to me like, you're going to use this business as a ministry, and it's going to help support like local efforts in fighting human trafficking. So yeah, from there we partnered with an organization, Jasmine Grace Outreach. I don't know if you've heard of that, but she is a woman who had been trafficked and she got saved, and she now has a ministry helping women who are trafficked in this area find housing for 2 years and help them kind of get back on their feet. So we were just doing little things here and there, like helping support. We did a walk for freedom in Concord where everyone was like holding signs, like slavery still exists. It was a silent walk. So just little efforts here and there. And then God led us to this in 2023.
Wow.
So
Yeah, there's so many details.
there are
Hard to share, but
yeah.
Yeah. And you said that God led you to this ministry in Tanzania in 2023. What was kind of like the tipping point for you two when you mentioned you were kind of torn before? What was kind of the tipping point where you went from being on the fence about it to we're going all in and we're moving to Tanzania all the way to the other side of the world to go run an orphanage, which is something that a lot of people don't really have on their bucket list.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, I don't think we had it on our bucket list either.
I think the crazy thing too is like a lot of people like when you go up, if you're at a conference or a youth event or something, and it's like, what has God called you to? You know, you go up to the altar and you're like, oh, he's called me to missions. He's called me to be, I think I'm going to be a missionary. I think I'm going to be, that never happened. Like that was never a thing at any like conferences I went to. Like, yeah, God's definitely calling me to be a missionary. And did that ever happen with you?
No, I mean, I thought I was going to be in ministry my whole life. When I was younger, I was like,
Right.
I'm going to be a worship leader for the rest of my life. Like, you know, you have
Like
your role models of
international
Hillsong.
missions, though.
You look at those things, and you're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're young, you know, you just look at the, I don't know, the immediate picture of it. But I think God did call me to ministry, and I worked in ministry, and I'm still in ministry. And I think ministry is much bigger than the church. But,
Right.
Would you say that like your previous experiences doing missionary work here in America, even handling some of the trafficking stuff, was that like do you see that God was kind of like prepping you for the next
Yeah.
big thing to come?
Yeah, this whole time, I think.
I think so. Yeah, and that's the crazy part. That was like hindsight's 2020 for sure. Doing all the research, learning all the different types of trafficking, looking at what it looks like, and I think that's one of the reasons why we saw red flags, is because you kind of always tend to look deeper into things when you're having conversations with people, when you're in certain environments. I know for me, I'll look for certain things. Sometimes it's annoying because I wish I could just like be present, but I tend to like look around the surroundings, see what's around me. So when we were in Tanzania, it's like the Holy Spirit was just like, I don't know, making things more clear to us when it came to that. But yeah, and then the situation now, we haven't gotten into it, but
Yeah. And not even just that, but just the way our life changed. So like I mentioned, I thought I was going to be in ministry, like working at the church, at our church for like the rest of my life. Like I thought that would be amazing. It'd be fun. But in 2020, when I stepped down, it was like a few-year process of like trying to hear, is God leading me to do this? Is this just because I'm frustrated with something? Is there bitterness? Is there, do I just think something's better over there? Whatever it was. So in 2020, when I did step down, I was like, I just gonna focus on I had a construction company too. I was focus on that, try to do that. I hired a couple people. And then after a year, like I didn't have enough work. So I had to let those people go. And it was just like this, like almost like a crash and burn of like wilderness season of like, I don't know what you're telling me to do, God. Like where did this come from? Like, why did you take me from here? And now I feel like at my lowest right now. So I just went through another year of, I guess, healing and stuff. And
there was a shaking of identity too.
yeah.
Like the identity was, I work at a church. I'm on staff at this church. This is how ministry looks, right? Like this is what it is. And there was that shaking of like, no, but I've called you to something else. And you have to go through this wilderness to be able to rip away from that.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's something, yeah. I mean, we're 12 episodes in and everybody's kind of giving the same answer. Like
Really?
they're up on, like they're like, this is it.
Uh-huh.
And then everything's just like gets taken out and they're like, what is going on? And then out of that comes like what they were really meant to do with their life. I mean, that's like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's like almost everyone, John. I mean, you said it's
so
like,
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of one person that hasn't said that same
I think
thing.
if you're truly seeking God and you're truly seeking to be led by the Holy Spirit in everything that you do, how it says in Galatians, like he's going to bring you to that point. He's going to humble you. He's going to shake things up. If you're truly praying those bold prayers, God, search my heart. God, show me the way. Give me the stepping stones for each day. He's going to do it. And it's going to be a bit of a painful process. Very humbling, for sure.
Wow. Okay. So you come home from Tanzania after 10 days. You're seeing some corruption going on, feeling it.
But we don't quite know what's going on. Yeah.
What was that transition between like you're back in America between like you're going to Tanzania?
Yeah, It wasn't like this quick one. We came back, and all we could think about was like what was happening over there. So ways we could help, things we wanted to do. We thought
Started dreaming about it.
maybe we're supposed to help them start a pottery business, like whatever. We didn't know anything about Tanzania. Like we had been there for 10 days, so it was everything was up in the air. But we couldn't stop thinking about it. We called our pastor. And we're like, rewind a little bit. That organization didn't have a director at the time, so they for the last year the board was running everything. So it was that was one of the reasons it was kind of falling apart. So we knew they were looking for a director, and the previous director that started it constantly, since I don't even know how many years, was always like, you guys should lead this. You guys should lead this.
Right. Even you guys should go to Tanzania. Like it was like this.
But I just always took it as like, you just say that to everybody.
Right.
Like that's just your joke. Cause I just assumed he did. But we called our pastor and we're like, so we know that there's no director, and we're really feeling like we're supposed to, but it just doesn't make sense. Like this isn't what we were trying to do. And he's just like, I was hoping that's why you're going to call. And we're like,
There was just
oh,
a few
okay.
things that pointed to it.
Yeah. Cause he was on that trip with us, the last one. And he had gone like past 7 years to this same place. And yeah, we had that conversation with him and then with the board, and everyone was on board with us becoming the new directors. So that was 3 months later, I think. So we got back in February, and in April, we became the new directors of Center of Hope. We did a whole big launch party in September of that same year. And, oh, did I miss something? I missed something. Did we go? No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. That September of that
It's
year.
hard to look back and remember everything.
And just kind of said the new vision. We still had the orphanage was still there, but it was still our desire to get the kids home. And get them back in their families. So that was the main purpose of what we were doing. We thought the orphanage would just be like temporary housing. But in April, we went there of 2024. So this was after September when we did the big launch. We went there, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of your question. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
it was just that time. Yeah, I love this. It's great.
So in 2024, April of 2024, we had raised a whole bunch of money so our whole family could go there, because we had to buy 6 plane tickets. We needed a place to live. We didn't know what to expect. We ended up living with the Tanzanian director. So he was the one that's been leading this for 20 years in Tanzania. We lived at his house with his family. So they like literally built a whole new room for us, which was like, I don't think anyone in America
We
would
gave
do
them
that.
some money too.
Yeah, but they built a whole new room for us. We lived with them for a year. Not a year. A month. April to May. There was a lot of questions we had while we were there. Like a lot of red flags.
Just living with him.
With the director, with the family, just the way they lived their life.
I started writing them down because there were so many.
We barely ever went to the orphanage, which was really strange to us. Like we thought, like, you're the director, I'd think you'd be like going all the time.
They didn't really like that we wanted to go out much.
Yeah, we kept trying to like, what do you guys do? Oh, we don't really do anything.
We don't do anything.
You don't go anywhere. Like I know, like
That kind of sounds like me, to be honest.
in America, there's lots of things to do.
That
so
makes sense here.
you could explain it away because people don't have a lot of money there, so they're not going to go bowling because there is no bowling. They're not going to go to the movies. There is there's a movie theater, but most people aren't. So you're just like,
city.
oh, I guess this is literally what they do because they just don't have the money to go do anything. So most of the time we were pretty bored. Like our kids were bored. We're just like begging the people we were with, like, can you just take us to the market somewhere?
Yeah.
To go somewhere. But anyway, there was a lot of red flags.
The way he treated people, the way that you could tell that there was multiple people that lived on the compound that his house was on, like multiple families. And you could tell that there was timidity with them and him. And like some of them, like we were eating certain food and then like the families out there were eating like leftover rice that they made yesterday. Like it,
Well, yeah.
but it's granted that's the way that Africans eat. But you
Yeah.
could tell like there were some times where I wanted to give like our extra food to the people, and I was told no. So those were the things that I had a red flag on. Like, hey, this chicken bone still has meat on it. I'm going to bring this out to these people and like give them. So there were just a few things, a few red flags where we were like, that's odd. And then we started realizing things like, oh, this is how much rice costs at the market. Oh, this is how much beans cost. Oh, this is much.
This is how much
We've-
medicine costs.
We've been sending so much money for things.
Yeah.
I'm confused. And our brain started going like,
Oh, why does he have a room full of mattresses that are brand new?
yeah.
Like, it was really strange. Like, I don't
Cars
think
are
I was
really
meant to
nice.
go in that room now looking back.
Yeah.
But
No, that was the storage room with all the stuff that I don't think.
yeah, lots of emergencies all the time, never enough money, where you start to question because you're like, how does any African live if you guys have this many emergencies? Like,
Right.
we're sending you a good amount of money, and I know that person does not make that much money. They should be dead. Like, because there's no way for them to survive. Like,
Yeah.
if the medicine costs this much, if the food costs this much, if, whatever the thing was. But we had come home in May, and May 18th or something like that. And the director was asking us, this is kind of what like exposed and was like
Everything.
proof, but the director was asking us for money for one of the kids to go to college. So we didn't have that money in the account. So I went to the board and said, hey, this is what we need. I think it was like $1,600 or something for like a year of school, which to us is really cheap. But the board director, which was also our pastor, he just started to question, like, he's like, can you get the name of that school? Can you get the phone number? Can you get the address? But he was like, ask me one question at a time. So I'd go to the director in Tanzania, ask him for that. By the third time, the Tanzanian director's like, you don't trust me? You don't trust me? And like getting very defensive. I was like, I'm just doing what I'm told by the board. Like
Right. To approve
I
this.
can't just send you money, especially if I don't have it. So he ended up sending us a document for the school. And when I asked for the phone number, he wouldn't give me the phone number. He's like, there is no phone number, which we don't know enough about Tanzania. So I'm like,
At that time.
okay, maybe, but that would be weird. And then there was too much like back and forth with the director of saying, like, our pastor, he doesn't trust me. He doesn't trust me. The board doesn't trust me. I was like, why don't we have a conversation on the phone, us three? So we get on the phone and he immediately starts accusing our pastor of, I heard you're coming to Tanzania next weekend, and you're coming to remove me from leadership, da, da, da. And I'm just like on the other side of the phone, like, what's happening right now? And I'm like, that's not happening. So we get off the phone, really awkward conversation. I text our pastor, like, can I call you? I don't even know what just happened. I call him. He's like, you can't repeat this to anybody. I was like, okay. He's like, I am flying there next week. That school he's asking you for money for was actually paid for by me. He had gone through another pastor in Tanzania and paid for the schooling for this kid. So he knew it was paid for. He had a letter sent to the orphanage, and the price of the school was half the cost, not $1,600. So it was like $800. So he ended up flying there the next weekend, which you can imagine created a lot of drama, and removed him from leadership. But it didn't matter when we didn't know this at the time. He had never registered the orphanage with the government. He had never in Tanzania. If you're not a citizen, you can't own land. So
There were fake documents.
you have to have like a Tanzanian board, and then you can lease it from them as an NGO, which is like a nonprofit. So he had made a fake contract with the previous director saying that the Center of Hope owned 50% and he owned 50% as like Life Church, his church and whatever, which he was a bishop, by the way. He's a pastor.
Over 80 churches.
So we basically that week found out nothing was in Center of Hope's name. We didn't own the land, 20 acres of land, plus a well that was drilled by our church like 3 years ago, about. So all of that, basically we just lost. We had hoped that we could get it back, but
There was
according
no
to
way.
Tanzania
Oh, my
law,
goodness.
as we've learned, we couldn't get any of it. So he still owns it today. He has a for sale sign on it, and we literally
Praying it
live
does not sell.
we live across the street from where this place is now in Tanzania, and we just pray every day, like, God, don't let it sell. God, don't let it sell, because he will get a lot of money for it just because of where it is and the buildings that are on it
So much land too.
and the
The
well.
well.
So anyway, that's when all the kids, I think I'm almost to one of your questions, but that's when all the kids were actually,
So the government.
yeah.
Do you
Why
want me
don't
to
you take it from here?
I'll take it from here. So what ended up happening is, so we got back in May. What month was it when it kind of exploded?
Back in
Was that
May,
June?
and then right beginning of June is when our pastor flew
Yeah.
to Tanzania.
And then shortly after
Poor
that, the government shut the orphanage down completely and sent all the kids
The next
home.
week,
The next week.
not because of us.
What we didn't know is the orphanage was already being investigated by the government. So the government had seen, wait a minute, this is not registered, this is not licensed. And we think, because this is things that you can do in Africa, you can bribe government officials and be like, hey, just give me another year. I'm
We
waiting
do
for
that
my
here, too.
Yeah, we do that here. Exactly. Here I'm like,
It just costs more
Africa
money.
is so
Yeah.
corrupt. But so is America. So he was bribing someone because he stayed
For
open.
20 years.
I don't know. It's crazy. So, okay, problem though. A nuclear bomb went off. All of these kids are going back to their homes that are not good.
Yeah, we don't
right?
know.
We don't
keep in mind,
know.
We know nothing about their family, their
Yeah.
home life.
Right.
We're just told, like, they're not safe.
Yeah.
They're all poor. You're just like, we're in America and all this happens.
Yeah. And we weren't actually, and also at this point, we were going to be directors stateside. We were just going to maybe go for like a month or two during the year. And that was kind of our plan, because the directors had never actually lived in Tanzania for the past 15 years. They were always stateside. And so we're like, yeah, let's do this. Then we can do local stuff and, go back and forth. But when that happened, we realized, holy moly,
Holy
the
moly.
kids are now spread out, and over time we found out that they had actually migrated back to the Center of Hope property, to the mama that was there, because that was all that really they knew that they were comfortable with. So they found their way back. I have no idea how they public transportation, begging for money. I don't know how it worked out, but they ended up back, and that's when we realized, all right, God, it's time to sell our house. It's time to move to Tanzania. So he had been leading us in that direction. He had been giving us like, okay, time to prepare. And we're like, prepare for what?
Yeah, it was in January of that year.
like a few months prior.
We just felt prepare.
Yeah, we have to prepare ourselves. Like that was like the word of the year. And so we kind of prepared, and we started getting rid of stuff in our house and like selling things and
Cleaning, organizing,
cleaning.
painting.
Yeah, like trying to get things in order. And then when this happened, it was like, it's go time. So we put our house on the market and it sold. And then,
Yeah, that was in June. So in August we put it on the market.
Yeah.
September was we
sold.
closed. And October we went to Tanzania
Wow.
for 2 months to kind of find a house and like understand what this would be like for our family.
Yeah, living there.
Yeah, and then we came back for 2 months, and then this past 8 months we lived in Tanzania from February to September.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's quick.
Yeah.
It was
That's
quick.
quick.
It was quick. And
Yeah.
it was, what's interesting though, is when you look back and like, I'm a journaler. So like all my journal entries are like, my pages are crazy. But you can see where God was leading us there. Like clear things like, I'm sending you, prepare. And like those types of things, like, wow, he was trying to prepare us for the move a long time ago. And when we would pray, we would say, okay, God, whatever is in your will. Like you want to pray in God's will. And we're ready to let go. And one of our main verses this past year was like, do not store up treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, but store up treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there your heart is also. And as we were selling things, it was like, all right, I'm giving it to you, God. Like, this is it. You're telling us to do it. The disciples literally dropped everything. Like, and when you read that, you're like, oh, good for them. Dropped everything and followed Jesus. But you don't really, until you have to do it, it's, man, like a lot goes into it. Like a lot of emotions, a lot of just like killing the flesh and just letting God take it. But
Yeah, that's a strong thing to do.
Yeah.
it's
Selling everything and
Yeah.
going to Africa.
we didn't sell the surf stuff and the snowboard stuff and the ski
Valid.
stuff
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had a friend.
and the pottery studio.
We had a friend that had a small space that we could store stuff in.
Yeah.
And we knew we'd be back because Tanzania is weird with their visa laws. So you have to leave every 3 months. And they're year-long visas. So we're like, well, we know we're going to come back here.
Mhm.
And we're not coming back here every 3 months, but yeah, so we saved some stuff. But I think that selling everything looks different for everyone's
Yeah.
life. That wasn't like our first, I guess, step of faith, we can call it. It was always small things leading up to that would, I would say, make it so we would be in that place, that mindset that we could be like, all right, let's just sell the house and go to
Yeah.
Tanzania.
Yeah.
It was
It wasn't abrupt.
It's really God calling you guys.
Mhm.
I hope so.
Well, that actually kind of leads to the next thing I wanted to ask. Obviously, I can imagine something going through your mind is like, what if this was wrong? What if we had the wrong idea?
Every day.
So,
Straight up.
how do you deal with that, and how do you know
Mm.
whether God is calling you to do something, or it's just an idea you had that maybe got strung along with a couple random coincidences? Like, how do you
That
know
is
if you're
such a
being
good
called
question.
by
We were
God
literally
to do
talking about
something?
it today. Like, we when it gets hard and when it gets lonely, because when you live in Tanzania, it does feel a little bit lonely. Like you're together, but we're in a village, and we've been able to find community since then. But right now, what we're running into is just no one being truthful about anything, and it just feels like we see what God's doing because God's doing it, we're not. But it just feels like we're like walking in quicksand some days, where it just feels like we're like sinking. What are we doing? Why did we choose this path? And have to kind of like reel it back in. And
Yeah, I think to answer your question, how do you know it's God? I don't know that I ever know, like, God said this. Like, there's a couple times in my life where I feel like scripture spoke to me and I was like, God is speaking to me about something specific right here through scripture. And in that moment, I don't always know what it is. And it's just, that verse just becomes like I guess you call it a life verse. Like I'm going to hold on to this word that I felt like God spoke. So when he's asking me to do these hard things these hard things I feel like he's asking me to do, then it kind of lines up with that word I felt like I got, even if it was 7 years ago. Like one word I held on to for a long time was, I was reading the story of Noah, the ark, and they had to get off the boat at some point when all the water went away. And for whatever reason, something stood out to me and said, you're going to get off the boat. And that was like a word of mine for like 8 years. And every time I'd make a transition, I was like, was that me getting off the boat? I don't think so.
Trying to
And
find it.
even now I'm like, I think I'm off the boat. but like there's been a few times those words, just reading scripture, and then just definitely seeing God's provision and through financial provision, but also the people that we've been meeting in Tanzania, just some of the connections we've been able to make. They're not like, it's not a miracle the way it's a miracle, but it's like the way our pastor in Tanzania actually just explained this to us, which I thought was awesome, was there's miracles and then there's providence. So providence is like someone went in for a surgery and they got healed. That's not God not working or not doing a miracle. It was just the providence of God to have that doctor be born where he was born, be able to go to school, learn that, and then get a job at this healthcare facility and do this surgery on you. And that providence, the way that God, I believe God's hands in everything, is kind of what has been happening a lot with us. Like just a little small, that, you know, the Christian saying, the small still voice, like
So small voice.
I are 4 months in where I think lonely as ever. Like we don't speak the language. The people on our
Trying
team,
to speak the language.
one of the guys speaks English decent. It's okay. We're going to a village church. Our kids hate it because they don't speak English.
It's also 3 hours long,
The translation is really hard to hear. Like they're translating for us, but
but they're yelling through microphones.
it's so fast. So you're like,
What?
We're trying. We're really
I'm
trying.
like, I got like chat GPT open trying to record it. And their internet's not fast enough. So you're like, this isn't working.
What do we do before ChatGPT? I don't
Honestly,
even remember.
though.
Yeah, I don't know. It works great for translating, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we've been using.
It'll
it
take
for.
context and everything you tell it into consideration. And anyway, but I think it was April and Easter was coming up. Our kids have like given up everything because we forced them to. Like, let's be real. We talked to them about it. We walked through it and everything, but they didn't really have a choice whether or not they were going. So you're just like, what can we do for our kids so they feel a little bit normal? Even us, like we need something normal. And it was just like this, why don't you find out if there's an international church? Like this thought, which you can say is just human, or you can be like, God gave me that thought. Because I didn't think
He's practical too.
we didn't know anyone at this point.
Right. We also didn't know that there was such churches.
We didn't know there was
international
tons of international people. We didn't really know much
An
of
hour
anything.
from us. We're like in the village. So you have to drive pretty far to get to them, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So this would be the Providence thing. We met a couple of international people. One was from the US, one was from Australia. They were married. We met them in a grocery store. We got their phone number. He put us in a group on WhatsApp. And it's a whole bunch of international people. And then he put me in an American group. So in the American group, I just said, is there any international churches that people like? And they said this one person said one church. It was Petra City. And I look up online and I was like, oh, that looks like
Their website's nice.
they have a
Wow,
website.
they're-
They have a website. That church looks good. Let's go there on Easter. Like do something that feels normal. And we ended up going to that church. I don't remember if that's when we did the egg hunt at something. We had met people. I don't know.
No, we did that. It was another time, but we got to this church and they had a kids church. And what's funny is, wasn't that the week that they did the kids acted something?
Maybe, I don't know.
It was our first week there. I'm pretty sure it was this week.
Yeah.
Our first week there. And we get there with our kids and the kids worker is like, hey, do your kids want to be a part of, like, we're doing the Jesus walking down and before he's crucified, and do your daughters want to be like Mary and Martha and like crying, and like it was just this whole thing.
Yeah.
Not Mary and Martha. You know, Mary, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, just like they immediately asked if they wanted to be a part of something without us even attending ever. It was the coolest thing. So
Yeah.
we felt like family immediately.
Yeah, it was people we could talk to.
Yeah.
Tanzanians, people from the UK, South Africa, just all over.
Wow.
And the pastor is Tanzanian. But the pastor has become like a really good friend of ours now. I have no idea if he's this friendly with everyone, but like I can text him every day if I wanted. I don't, because I won't annoy him, but he's helped us with so many things. What we thought of Tanzania and the things that we knew were there, like, has been completely expanded. Like there's actual social workers there. There's actual social welfare offices. There's actual orphanages that are approved by the government, that the government put kids in, and it's all regulated. But we didn't know any of that
We were
because
given a picture
we were just kind of in
of
the dark.
fear. Like, you need to fear everything. And the Tanzanian director truly wanted to have power over us. He wanted to be the go-to guy that we can only talk to him if we want connections here and there. He wouldn't allow us to really do much other things. And God didn't allow that for long, but he allowed it long enough for us to be able to see it and finally get it exposed.
Yeah.
So yeah, this opened up a whole thing for
Long-winded
us.
answer to your question, but like just the providence of God. There's been miracles. There's been people that we didn't even share really much of anything, and they just give us like $1,000 or $2,000 or I don't remember who.
We
there
haven't
was someone
asked
that
for money.
gave us 5,000 once. Like, she's like, I could probably do 3, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. And we go there, and she gives us a $5,000 check, and we're like, wow.
What's
and that was one of the
happening?
first trips that we went. It was like
Yeah.
confirmation.
God just being like, hey, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and it's not all about money, but
Right.
we needed it to get there, and we
Right.
didn't have a lot because we ran a pottery business, which
Right.
doesn't make any money. Just FYI,
I mean, it can.
it can, but not. It takes a while.
Yeah.
So God's providence, just through meeting those people at the supermarket, and then getting added to a group, just sending a text because we just wanted to feel a little normal.
Yeah.
Like, and that opened up a whole new world, which has created new connections. We're working with 2 social workers now. Our pastor's been helping us, even with translations. Like, when I tell you how hard it is to have a conversation, even with an educated Tanzanian, like when your cultures are so different, like it is way harder than I thought it would be, until we met our pastor, who for whatever reason, like, gets our culture, and I can say almost anything, movie references, it doesn't matter. He somehow knows
them
it.
all.
So I asked him one day, he's like, oh, I just watch American movies all the time to learn.
Nice.
Right.
So like the language barrier was like removed when he's there. So he even came once and helped translate for the whole team. I could just say anything I wanted and knew it was being translated properly. So
Right.
it was
So we're
just
just,
huge.
only God can open that up, because we had 0 connections before that.
Yeah.
So it was really, really cool. Like, this is where you're supposed to be right now.
Yeah. And we always second guess a lot of things, like, did I hear God? Daily. Like,
Yeah.
there's things we're dealing with right now that we don't have enough information to make an educated decision. Like, we're at that, like, some decisions we need to make right now, I feel like can only be led by the Holy Spirit, and just like, God, please lead me, tell me what to do, because I have to make some kind of decision,
Yeah.
but I don't have enough information. And you just trust that God will give that to you.
Right.
And if you mess up, he'll fix it.
And it just seems to be like, being led by the Holy Spirit is so important, because we came from such a place of like somebody trying to control everything, lying about everything, that we didn't even know where to start. So like, God, if you're calling us here, we have no idea where to start. So you have to give us direction, and you have to even show us things about people. If they're corrupt, like, help us understand not to work with them. Help us see through what's going on. Because more and more layers are coming out. We're actually realizing a lot of more things.
So it's still going on. Like,
It's
you're still finding-
it's
okay.
ongoing.
We're learning things because now we have people that were outside of the center that never worked with it, or like the social workers are going in and interviewing
Investigating.
families and the
Okay.
kids in ways that we could never. So
Yeah.
So the previous director, you said they were stateside?
no, Tanzania.
Okay, so there was
they're based out
Tanzanian
of-
side, and
Okay.
then there was directors directing from
the US.
America, from the US.
Okay.
So it's really hard when you're in America to get an idea of anything that's going on. So if the Tanzanian director is like calling you saying, oh my gosh, this child needs emergency surgery, and it's going to be this much. In America, how much is surgery, right? So you don't know, and you're like, oh yeah, let's go on we need to raise $3,000, and so that's kind of what would happen in the past, is like always emergency mode, but typically it was 5 times less than that. We're learning now, but how are they supposed to know?
So they're taking the money.
Yeah.
They're just, okay.
So the Tanzanian side.
Yeah.
was
So a
pocketing
child, so a
most of
child
it.
would need like a $300 surgery, and they tell you it's 3,000, and they pocket the extra 2,700.
Essentially,
Basically.
yeah. That's
So,
not an actual story that happened, but
for example, an actual story that happened, if you guys are interested.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Very.
An actual story that happened. So to preface, so it was a human trafficking situation because this man was using children to put money in his pocket, you know, and
which is a very
it's
we've
very
learned is very
common.
common, especially for a bishop to be doing it.
Yes. And this is a
Or a
bishop
pastor.
because they have power usually and they can use that name. And typically they have multiple different strains of income coming in. But one specific scenario, we were told it was like another emergency situation. We need to put a fence around the whole property, like the whole 20 acres, because, well, it's 15 acres, because whatever, it doesn't matter.
A lot of land.
That's a lot of land. Because the government's telling me,
But
like,
not a fence, a block wall.
a block wall. So this is
That's 10 feet
cement
high.
blocks, 10 feet high, around 15 acres. And because the government told him he has to, because safety for the kids. And, you know, one of the things was, you know, sometimes people will like kill a man and throw him on your property and it can be your problem.
That was a
after
reason
that.
we were given,
That-
which does happen.
It's can happen, but I'm like, they probably still could.
Just throw them over
Anyways.
the wall. Yeah.
But, you know, those were the reasons, like safety for the children, all the things. Okay, so what we did is, okay, shoot, the government, and then it's always the government's going to shut me down if I don't do this,
Yeah, he did give us a letter with a government stamp on it. So
which is all fake. All the contracts were fake. I mean, anyway, you can buy a stamp anywhere.
don't tell him the end of the story
I'm
yet.
sorry. Well, I didn't. Kind of. Well,
That's all good.
so we're like, okay, let's raise money for this wall. Okay, it's going to be $1 per brick. And so if you can give like $5, you bought 5 bricks, right? Like it was that kind of thing. Okay, let's build this wall together. What was the total that it was going to be?
Originally, the very original was 15 to 20. Then it switched to 30.
Right. So $1,
1,000, 30,000.
let me just give you an idea. So $1 is like 3,500 shillings.
No, but
Well, okay, tell me. So as far as the
so one brick.
Okay,
The
I'll
way
say it this
the way
way.
he said it was a brick would cost $1 US.
Yes.
Basically, like with the mortar and whatever.
Yeah. I'm not good with numbers, so that's why I like looked at him.
Actually, no,
Tell
just for the
me.
brick. Just for the brick was $1.
So not
Okay.
even for the
Right.
So not for the installation cost, just for some of the raw materials. It would cost
Right.
$1. Okay.
Right. So I don't know if you guys remember when we told you our pastor had gone to Tanzania to fire this man. He found out while he was there that the bricks were only about 38 cents each. So, I mean, per brick, he was pocketing, and that was including delivery, including that. So do the math. Like
62 cents. So he's making 62 cents.
how much was he pocketing? Luckily, that project didn't finish. Like it was not something that, I mean, I don't even.
He built like half, like I forget, it was like 4 bricks high or something
Yeah.
around most of the property.
That'll keep the kids safe. 4 bricks high. Yeah.
Right.
But-
Like, what?
Well, that was after spending 31,000 US dollars
You said
On-
around most
on
of the
it.
property.
around most of the 15 acres. And then every time he got to a certain point, it was, I think at the end, before, this was when we were living there for a month with him. And this is one of the red flags, was it kept going up. The price kept going up.
Every time.
So then I finally was just like, you need to write me a budget. Like I had one, but I'm like, I need a new one because you keep changing it. And his new budget was like 62,000. And I was like, what am I supposed to tell the board?
Right.
Like, this is what I'm telling the guy. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And he's just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't keep telling people now it's double the price of what it was.
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward, our pastor goes there. We find out the bricks do not cost that much money. And we found out you can build a whole house, a beautiful house for 30,000 US dollars. But the biggest thing was the government never required the wall around the land. He actually never pulled a permit. And
I mean, it wasn't registered.
when we were there, this is funny. When we were there, the government came. We were at the orphanage, and they came, and he said that they were just looking at the wall. But what I found out later is they were there because he wasn't supposed to be building the wall at all.
So we saw them.
I don't know what his grand plan was.
Yeah.
Some people say that he was building this wall and he was going to create all these businesses in it and like somehow get rid of us. I don't know if that's all true, but
Or he just needed an excuse to get
money.
$62,000.
Yeah. Well, we know. I'm just going to expose it all right now. We know that he was building hotels.
Yeah,
He has a hotel. So
he has multiple houses.
for the last 20 years, he's been using the money from maybe other places in the world to build hotels, to put his kids through really good school, send his kids to China for schooling. And yeah, all at the expense of children that really were getting one meal a day. And there were like beatings involved. There was,
like intimidation.
Intimidation. He would call them dogs, like when they would eat. Oh, keep eating like a dog. We found this out after we had interviewed a couple of the kids. I had a translator, and they said some of their, most of their trauma was because of this man. Yeah. So that right there, though, when you hear that, you're like, you just let me at him. Let me at him. But
and that the truth.
we had to be so careful of like, okay, we have to think clearly, like right now. And that's why we have to be so led by the Holy Spirit. Because if we're going on emotion, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, like multiple times I wanted to walk around the wall while we were there.
Like the wall of Jericho.
Like Jericho in the Bible so that it would all crumble. But I'm like,
like,
I'm pretty
let's
sure
do
I'll
it.
get shot.
We are kind of banned. We're banned from the property. According to him, if we show up, we'll get arrested.
Wait, this is current. This
Oh,
is current right now?
did he send you a letter with the government stamp on it?
I know, right?
I mean, the longer we've lived there, I think I could walk around the property and nothing would ever happen.
I mean, I've been in there. I went in.
But there's a whole nother story, but the mama that was taking care of the kids lives there still, and she doesn't like us anymore. So
because she's playing for not our team.
It just wouldn't be smart for me to do that. I just want to do it. So yeah, it's still technically he owns everything. We live like 2-minute walk from it. I think he knows where we live. So
he does.
At first we were
there were threats,
kind of scared until we lived there for a couple months, and we're like, oh no.
Our security guard though helped us feel better about.
I got my license. I can drive.
Yeah, he was driving.
We bought a car. Yeah. Try to make life a little more normal. Our kids go now out and play with the kids in the
village
community, even though who knows who will show up.
What is funny though is like what we had to get used to is everyone walks around with machetes in the village, like, and everyone looks angry until you greet them, right?
Yeah.
So
why do they have machetes?
For farming and like
that's what they
different
use.
things they're doing.
They're cutting grass. They use a machete.
Yeah.
They're cutting a tree. They use a machete. Yeah. Everything's a machete, you know? And so one thing we had to get used to is like just walking down the dirt village road and somebody is walking up to you with a stern face and they're holding a machete, but they're just like on a mission. I would always say, Habari, because Habari is like, hello, how are you? And the moment you greet them, they soften. And so I had to get used to like, oh, not everyone wants to kill us. They just are.
Yeah, most people there are very nice.
So we felt more comfortable like letting our kids play. And
Have you ever had kind of a close call or a sketchy situation there where somebody might have legitimately been trying to kill you or something like that?
I don't know about killing, but
I've been grabbed a few times.
Yeah.
But that's because men, they see white skin and they are like, marry me, I love you. Like the only English they know, and they'll grab you. Like it's very weird. It is a very touchy culture. So
I had a prostitute come up to me right before we had left this last trip. That was
talk about Satan. I'm like,
she didn't speak English, so it took me a long time to figure out what she was asking me. And then she anyway, I won't get into it. I was like, whoa, no. And I just like just walk away as fast as I could.
Ironically too, the next day we were leaving, like we my sister actually is on mission with us. So her and another Tanzanian woman were going to stay with our kids so that we could like take was it 2 nights? 1 night? I don't even know. So we could like go away for our anniversary. It was the day before. And I'm like, ugh, talk about Satan trying to like mess things up right now. He had never once been approached. And of course, like right before.
We had someone come up to our car trying to sell us like a lock or something, like just a padlock.
Oh, yeah.
He looked pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And we usually just say no because we don't need it. And
Right.
we normally just like, okay, and they walk away. This guy, we're like, yeah, we're not buying it. We don't need it, whatever. And he looks in our windows at our kids and just goes like,
Oh my god!
And he was like
and then our kids
pretending
are
to
freaking
punch
out.
them. And I was like,
And
ooh.
we had another African with us, so we weren't super worried. But
Yeah.
there are certain people that are on drugs and they're just
Yeah,
not thinking
crazy.
straight, or they're not mentally stable. So
So like America.
yeah,
Yeah.
Depending on
like
where
any
you
city.
are.
So we try not to go out at night.
Yeah, it's not safe.
Where we live in the village, it's much safer, but we still just stay inside like our compound.
I mean, we say that, but then like a guy down the road was stabbed in the neck at the bus station. But like
Well,
that's normal here as well. So we keep saying it's safe. Kind of.
It's like Manchester.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, people get stabbed there every day.
It's so
yeah,
true.
it's
I
not
know.
it's
It
not
just
crazy
seems
different.
crazier.
I think it's what makes it harder is you don't speak their language. So
Yeah, it feels
I've been out at
scary.
night and I don't know what they're saying to me, and it's a bunch of guys on
Yeah.
motorcycles laughing, saying stuff to you, and you're like, I don't know,
Oh,
they're
heck
joking or I don't know. So
I saw what was crazy is I did see in the town some like straight up village witches with their stuff trying to curse everything. So that was something I've never seen before. I know it's a big stronghold there. There's a lot of like medicine from witches and
Witch doctors, yeah. I've
Yeah,
heard
witch
that's common
doctors.
in Africa.
yes,
What
very,
is with
very,
that?
very.
So being like, why is it so prevalent in Africa? What is going on?
It's a stronghold, I think.
well, yeah,
Witch doctors are definitely less here than
'cause
they are.
when you're poor and you can't go see a normal doctor, you just like, well, God's not helping me.
Yeah.
Let me go see if this person
Yeah.
that has medicine can help me.
There was a crazy story. A mama, I call them mamas because that's what they call them there. Just Mama Kabula, whatever. There was a mama there, and I don't know how much of this.
Well, she had
Basically, what happened is we found out we had brought her kids back with her and whatnot, and she has come from a desperate place of homelessness and false doctrine being preached to her probably, and all of those things. And we found out that she had some like medicine from witches because she was trying to deal with some physical things. But nothing in her life is working out. Every cycles of curses, it's just a mess. And found out she had some, and she was admitted to it and brought it and put it on the table, and it was only a little bit. And in my heart, I was like, I think she has more. And then eventually, as we were talking with a translator, come to find out she had like a lot more. So she went back in her room and grabbed everything. And it was a really, really cool moment where she just like repented, was freed definitely from something, and we burned it. It was a really beautiful moment of her realizing, wait, this is not what's going to save me. This is not what's going to heal me. God is what's going to heal me. And so it was a really redemptive moment to kind of bring her to that place, but never really seen that before. So we're seeing a lot of things that we've never seen before, of really deep spiritual things.
Could that be? I have some theories. I've started to do some research.
Yeah.
It's like Africa has like a bunch of like really demonic
Yes.
activity. I've even
Like
heard
occult.
that's why the place is in such famine,
Yeah.
is due to that. You said like the witches walking around there.
yeah.
Gosh, it makes you think. It's
It
like,
does. And it's also paired with like the power structure of the government, where the government actually has lots of money. Like
Really?
there's Tanzanite and gold. I mean, Tanzania is a flourishing land. Like
Really?
there's gold everywhere. Well, okay, so there's gold in certain parts, but there is gold in a lot of different parts. There's also Tanzanite, which you can't find anywhere else, and it's super expensive. You
What
know,
is Tanzanite?
It's like a I don't even call it a
I
gem.
think
Like a ruby.
it's a gem.
Like,
Yeah,
not a ruby, but like that same caliber. So you put it in like
it
a ring
looks
or
like a
necklace.
sapphire, like dark blue,
Huh.
but it's very rare. And so they have a lot of money, but they use it.
I think the biggest thing is the mindset. So Satan will use a lot of those curses or whatever you want to call it are a mindset that needs to be shifted. So I'm not gonna say the name, but there's a worldview where they believe like the spiritual realm controls everything. Everything is fate. Like you don't have a choice. This is just what we have to deal with. And that's like a big mindset over there. So when it comes to like curses or witch doctors or whatever, they think they're in poverty because someone cursed them. So because they think that, they won't try to get out of it. They're just like, this is just
I'm
my
being
life.
cursed.
And then that's something that we find. I'm not going to get this story right, but essentially it's like if you're doing better than somebody else, you don't tell anyone, and you make sure that you look like you're very poor, because as soon as someone sees that you're doing well, they'll hate you because you aren't sharing with them, and they think because you have this much, I can't get any. You took it all, like essentially. So like there's limited
It's
resources.
very bizarre.
When you're there, you'll see like vast amounts of land unused, untouched, and you're just like, there's so much here.
Potential.
And they can't, like, most people don't believe that they could
Or they
do
don't want
something
to,
with
they're
it.
scared.
They don't want to. They think they're cursed. They're afraid to
Look
get
like
money.
they have more.
Yeah, so
They are. There's a huge fear of the witches too. Even Christians.
an unnatural fear, and you're just
It's-
like, why are you so afraid? Like,
You're like covered by the blood of Jesus. Like, what are you?
who's stronger?
worried about?
Like, God's stronger, but the witches. I'm kidding.
Oof. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Jeez.
and that also is being preached. So there's so many churches. Like Tanzania is a Christian nation, and I'm quoting because it's not. it's they're being. I don't know how to say this well, but there's churches within walking distance everywhere you go, but there's uneducated pastors preaching. A lot of the times they use it as a business. They're like, oh, well, easy thing to do, start a church. So they start a church and they're preaching like a condemnation gospel, and controlling gospel. And I'm your pastor, so, bow down to me, like kind of shame gospel. And so you come in and you preach kingdom culture, and to them they're like, they see honor in a different way. They see integrity in a different way. So we've been talking with our team about kingdom culture, like honor, integrity, servanthood, humility, all of those things, and like, what is Jesus model? And it kind of ruffles some feathers because it's against the grain of what they're used to.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. I mean, it's corruption everywhere, but like
it's different. It's just different.
different kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think the American church does a lot of that condemnation gospel?
Yeah, I think maybe in different
For sure,
different ways.
probably.
Like telling Christians they can't really amount to anything, or telling them that they're no good, stuff like that.
I've heard it too. I mean, I've heard wealth is bad as well.
Yep.
Like, what is it?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think there's messed up doctrine everywhere. I've said things years ago that I think about. I'm like, why did I believe that? I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, that's not even in the Bible.
Things are twisted.
It's just walking it out.
There are definitely churches, that I can think of.
Yeah.
Well, so this time you're noticing everything's kind of getting corrupt. You're living here, so this is 8 months at this time, right? Or
We're
just
living in
lived there,
Tanzania, yeah,
Okay.
for the past 8 months.
So when did Sozo come about? When did that transfer over?
That
Yeah.
was in February
Yeah.
of this year. Yeah, 2025.
Yeah, we were just praying, and hey God, I feel like we had gotten a word from somebody who we really look up to. We don't just take words lightly, but he said, I feel like this situation you're in is like a name change situation, like a Jacob to Israel situation. And we had been feeling that, but we didn't really know what to do with it. So we were praying and praying and praying. And all right, God, what do you want for these people? Like,
Yeah.
this, you've called us to this, and it looks different now. Like, there's no orphanage. The kids are just like everywhere. You know, what do you want? And I guess that's kind of when Sozo came to mind, because the Greek word sozo and meaning. And then I was like, oh, well, Bethel School of Ministries has like Sozo. I kept thinking like, oh, that's a thing there. But God was like, no, this is what you're doing. And it was like the only name that kept coming. So we had a team from America come to Tanzania, and we all kind of prayed about it. And everyone also like confirmed, I feel like that's the direction we're going. Wholeness, health, healing, deliverance, all of that, like mind, body, soul, spirit. So that's when it was born, essentially.
Okay. And Sozo has a big dynamic on families, right? So bringing back the family unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, family. Our main thing is definitely family reunification, which comes with a lot of things. Like a lot. I would say everyone in the world needs counseling. It's finally not really a taboo anymore. Even in Tanzania, they still like, we talked about counseling with our team, and they're like, counseling? I thought you only got counseling if you had AIDS. Like, you have to be like this real dramatic thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you just need someone to talk to. Like, we just make it really, like, we do everything mystical, or like this, that's not for me. That's too serious. So counseling, like truly understanding what happened in this person's family. So family reunification is like number one, definitely for the kids that were in that old orphanage. And then there's going to be businesses that get started, ways that we help in that way.
And discipleship.
We're still working it all out.
The spiritual aspect, I'm definitely passionate about that, because they've been living under this like false gospel for so long that everyone is a little messed up. Everyone's fearful. Everyone's living under shame. And so being able to get health back to that, and like a fire for Jesus back in them, is a passion. Yeah,
we're helping the family, helping the individual, help the family, so that we can help the whole community. Because you can, obviously you want to help the whole country, the whole world, and all that, but like start small, start with that first, just with the person, discipleship. Like,
so right now it is December 2025. You have Sozo right now, recently launched this journey. What do you see it being in the next year? What are the action steps for you at this moment?
Our current action steps have been meeting the families. So now that we have social workers helping us, we have made like gotten real information, and we're able to start making real plans. So even just this past week or two, like, we've learned about one of the girls' families. She has 8 other siblings, but she was the only one chosen to go to the center, the old center.
Yeah.
So all those were technically left to their poverty or whatever situation they're in. And another one to their 2 brothers, Benny and Emma, this week literally just found out, like, they were put there originally because she was in poverty and she couldn't take care of them at the time. And she was told that she could never go visit them, and that the foreigners would never want to see them. Family.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the foreigner didn't want her there. That's what she was told.
But they're like, oh, you can come visit anytime. She's like, I don't want to visit. I want my kids to come home. And we're like, that's amazing.
That's
so now we're working on renting a house for them. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. What was the previous director? Was this talking about the old orphanage that was kind of like dispersed?
So these are
was
kids.
The previous director telling them they couldn't, their kid couldn't come home and they couldn't visit their kid? So they were basically keeping them there against their will?
Yeah. So he was claiming them as one of...
What was his motive for this?
I think just money, power. I don't know.
Money and power.
Some of that will just, we won't know, but
switched all of their last names to his first name. So they were branded
Well, some
under
of them.
him.
Wow.
Okay, yes,
Some of
not
them.
all of them.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. So we're even working on that.
Yeah,
but
trying
like,
to change
just
that.
to give perspective on like renting a house. So they're all living in one room, that family, Emma and Benny's family. There's 5 other siblings
room,
or 6 other
yeah.
siblings living in one room with the mama. But they're in a house that has other rooms. They just can't afford to rent those rooms. So for 80,000 shillings, which is like $30, around there, 30 US dollars, we can rent the whole house with the sitting room, and Benny and Emma can go back home and live with their family. And we figure out ways to help them, like whether it's business, get back in school, whatever it is. Like that's what we want. Take the next year or two to help this family get back on their feet. Like, which is, I do need to say this about John Cerise. He's the one that kind of started Center of Hope years ago, and he's been for like 16 years. I want to make sure that
He's American side.
he's the American side, and he's amazing. Like he's the guy that would always be like, "You think you guys are supposed to take this over?"
Yeah.
Da, da, da.
Oh,
He's like
okay.
85
He's
now.
He went to Africa 2 years ago. He's 85.
Yeah. So he didn't know
He wants to
any
go
of this
again.
was happening, and he's just a very compassionate, loving man.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure, just in case he listens to this,
I know that
he
none
knows.
of this was under his knowledge. And
Yeah. Anyway, so very small things can bring families back together, which is super encouraging to us, because before it felt like it was going to
Impossible.
be impossible and hard. So
We also were told like some of the families aren't very safe, but the ones we found so far are safe.
yeah,
There are going to be circumstances down the road where I'm sure like there's mental illness or they don't have any safe family members. That's going to be a thing, but
yeah.
thus far.
So this next year is that's our main objective, is get the kids back home, which means creating plans and helping them get to school, start businesses, whatever.
Yeah.
Every family will be different, and painstakingly, we did get 2 families back together over this last 8 months, and it's getting better.
Yeah.
One family was pretty rough. The other one, it's working out much better. But so
For
that's our
those
plan.
families, I guess the first time in the past 8 months you got a family back together. What was that like in that moment once it was kind of all wrapped up and you realized that you basically just changed somebody's life? Like what was that feeling like?
Man, it was cool because one of the families, the mom was like paralyzed. She was crawling around the ground. So she was getting like diseases really easily. She had AIDS. She has AIDS. And so her quality of life was bad. And the reason why her daughter was in the orphanage is because of that. I mean, she was desperate and was just like, please give her a better life. Like it was that situation. So she was living in kitchens or like would get kicked out of this house and end up in another person's house. And that was an emergency situation where we were like, okay, do you want to reunite with your kids, with your daughter? Absolutely. Like, why wouldn't I? If I was given a chance, why wouldn't I? And so that was very emotional because it's like, oh my gosh, like all you got to do is just like ask. And they're like, yes, I want my kids. So we were able to get a little apartment, furnish it. You wouldn't believe the smile on her face when she saw this. Like she had her own cooking stuff, like her own pans to call her own, like a little couch and a seating mat. And there was like a toilet, which is a hole in Africa, but it's got porcelain. Like, it's a porcelain hole. But she was just so happy and grateful and thankful to be seen, to like be given a chance. And then come to find out she had an older daughter who did so well in school that she was given the opportunity to go from the government, right, to go to school for teaching. So she already had a degree in teaching. So we asked her to come back so she could help take care of the family. She had a daughter. So not only did she get her other daughter back, but she now can see her grandkid. And over time, the mama got physical therapy, and we found out that only one of her legs is paralyzed. The other one was due to polio. No, polio was the paralyzed one. The other one was due to something else that happened. But they were able to get her to a point where she could walk on crutches.
Okay.
So she's standing upright. So that whole thing was beautiful. And then we found out she had a son who was 18. So he came back and he was then able to work for Sozo Ice Cream, which is one of the businesses that was created. And so, and then the daughter who is teaching is tutoring kids within Sozo because of issues. There's corporal punishment. They still beat the kids in school for just looking at the teacher wrong. You get beat. So a lot of them were failing because of fear or not understanding or whatever. So she started tutoring them. So Sozo is able to pay her to tutor all the kids and then pay the son to work in Sozo Ice Cream. And what's really cool is now Sozo isn't covering the full cost of this family. They're able to put money towards it because they have been working.
And they just rented their own house.
Yeah.
So we paid some of it, but they paid the rest.
Yeah.
We're just like trying to help them take those baby steps.
Yeah. So that's the equipping piece and empowering.
That's
like,
really
how cool
interesting.
is that?
So it's not even like what you think of when you think of a charity.
Right.
It's like teaching someone to fish as opposed to giving them a fish. It's like
Yeah.
you're almost like turning a profit. You're helping them become self-sufficient, and I assume that's kind of the goal.
Yeah,
here,
that's
guys.
the goal.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that. What are some of like the businesses that you've helped start? I know you mentioned Sozo Ice Cream. Like, what are some of the kind of ventures you guys have done that have turned out to help these people become more self-sufficient?
That's the Sozo Ice Cream is the only one we started that's within Sozo. We've helped some of the people on our team start their own businesses. It was kind of one of the things we told them before they had come to help us because it was kind of emergency. And we're like, we need help. Can you help us take care of these kids and whatever? So one of them started a Bajaj business, which is a motorcycle with a trailer on the back, and he delivers things for people. So we helped him get one of those. Another one started a video game business, which is like
In
an
the
arcade
village.
essentially. So people pay 1,000 shillings to play for 10 minutes. And there's really nothing else like it there. So I think it's been doing very well. It was doing well before we left. And the other one just opened a small shop.
Selling
Like to
like
sell
candy and rice. And,
like normal household things,
Yeah.
which was his dream. Like we let them pick. We're like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? The idea with them is that they pay back the loans. We're very new at this, so we kind of paid for things for them, and the hope is that they'll pay that back so that we can use that again for something else.
because then they can own it too if they pay back that loan.
So we kind of have to see how that plays out. We probably won't do just to be
Guinea
honest,
pig.
we probably won't do it that way again. We've learned better models and
Yeah.
ways of doing it. But something that's not technically a business is we own 8.5 acres of land, and we asked, one of the ladies we're working with asked all the families and our team to come together and figure out what we could do with the land and that they would all benefit from it. So they all put some money in, and they've also been working on the land, planting crops. So the hope is each of the families will get at least a year's worth of beans and corn
Wow.
from that harvest. And it's only 8.5 acres of land. And you can store all that for a year because it's dry goods. So
Wow.
that's not technically a business, but a
It's
way that
self-sustaining.
they can learn farming and they can see like, oh, if I had land, I could do this myself.
Right.
So those are some things. And we have other ideas. The one cool thing is like Goodwill from all different countries will send clothes there, and you can buy huge bags of it for pretty cheap. So starting a used clothing store within Sozo. So when there's families that just need clothes given to them, we'll just have a whole bunch that we're able to give, but also have a nice store that people can come and buy clothes for.
And people from
Real
Sozo can
cheap.
work at it.
Yeah.
People can work.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of times what they'll do in these like underdeveloped countries. You guys know like when the Super Bowl comes out, as soon as one team wins the Super Bowl, they're already selling shirts.
Right.
They're already selling jerseys like Patriots Super Bowl 51 champions or whatever the Super Bowl is that they win.
Yeah.
Hopefully this one. We'll see. But what people don't consider is what about the team that didn't win? They printed all those jerseys. So I've actually heard that in a lot of I'm not kidding.
I know, this
in
is
a lot
true.
of
This is
underdeveloped
true.
countries, you'll see people
They
walking
will
around
And
wearing
that's
like
true.
Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl 49 champions.
Yeah.
I
I've
believe
definitely
that.
seen some stuff. Like when you go to the local market, there's mounds and mounds of clothing, and all these people are trying to sell them. And you see teams, you see all different like basketball, football, soccer. I'm like, I wonder. I wish I knew more about these teams.
Yeah.
Did they win or
They're
not?
probably the losing team.
Yeah, they were. They're the
Yeah.
losing team because you can't sell Super Bowl 49 Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl 49 champions because they lost.
Right.
They lost to the Patriots. So what do they do with all the jerseys? They send them overseas. So you'll see people walking around wearing those
True. I
jerseys.
mean, at least they're being put to use.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
like
better than
only
throwing it
we
away.
would know.
I know.
Yeah.
But it would kind of be interesting to see that.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. And they do rock them with pride. Like when there is
Nice.
a sports team
Oh,
that
man.
is from America or any other country, they're like, I am.
They'll rock anything with pride.
best.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's
we
true.
read it to them. You're like, do you know what that means? They're like, no. I'm like, I'm just not going to
Gosh,
tell you.
one funny story. When we first got there was a guy on our team, and he was wearing first it was a hat that said boy, and then a pink sweatshirt that said love affair. And I was like, he knows a little English, and I was like, do you know what love affair means? And he was like, no, I was just shopping and I just kind of grabbed it. And I was like, okay, let me Google it for you. And I Googled it and like showed him because he can read English. And he was like, oh, and he took it off and he's like, someone take it. I'm like, how do you not know?
Oh.
But like maybe his English that he knew wasn't
Yeah.
clearly understanding.
The things shirts say over there, you're like, that's not even real
Right.
English. Like, what?
Sometimes
Bad.
it's true.
Yep.
Or a shirt that just says me or okay or yeah. There's a lot of dope stuff, like hats that just say dope.
That could be fun.
I mean, I guess it's just funny.
dope.
Yeah, it's dope.
See?
It's gonna be interesting. How
It
come the
is.
stuff that you're doing? How come more people aren't doing that? Like the self-sufficiency thing. I don't hear that being talked about a lot because you do hear about giving aid to countries that need it, giving aid to people that need it, which is obviously important. But I think your guys' approach to charity about basically giving somebody a fishing rod instead of just a fish. I don't know why more organizations aren't doing that because I feel like that's
I feel like
They're
beginning to. So like
Mhm.
that. I think people are starting to see even the model of just reunifying families.
Yeah.
People are saying it's better to be with family than for kids to be in the orphanage
Mm.
for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And have you guys read the book When Helping Hurts?
I have not.
no. I haven't.
It's a good one. Who's the author?
Oh, I forget.
Just for if people are interested.
I don't remember.
Either way,
You'll just look at
When Helping Hurts, it's a really good one. It's the model of give them a fishing rod instead of giving them the fish, and it talks all about worldviews. But when the idea is when you come in with this savior mentality and you're like, I'm just going to throw all this money at it. We're just going to build a bunch of buildings and we're going to, I don't know.
I think the best way to describe it is the chicken story.
Okay. Chris,
So,
tell the chicken story.
The chicken story.
Yeah.
So
tell it.
there was a church that there was a farmer that had just tons of extra eggs for some reason. And they're like, we can just ship these over to this village and it'll help them, give them tons of eggs. Everyone can have eggs for free. And they end up sending these eggs over for like a couple years. And then for whatever reason, the guy ran out of eggs. Like he wasn't making enough eggs in his chicken farm in America. So they stopped sending those eggs to that village or that region. And as soon as that happened, they didn't have eggs anymore because all the people that had chicken farms and they were selling eggs in that village couldn't sell their eggs anymore because everyone was getting free eggs. So now they weren't producing eggs anymore because someone kept sending free eggs. So we're like, oh, look how much we're helping. But you actually just created a whole
problem.
much bigger problem because now no one's doing chicken farming and no one has chickens and no one has eggs. If you don't have
No one's
eggs, you
getting
can't get
money.
chickens. So
Yeah.
now you can't get chickens because you don't have money to buy the chickens to get the eggs. So it's that concept of when helping hurts. So that book actually, I think, was instrumental in kind of what we're doing
Yeah.
and helping us to think like very different.
Mhm.
And there's definitely a lot of organizations doing it. They're just a lot of people don't know about them because an orphanage is the easiest thing to sell.
It is. It's like
There's
looks
an
better
organization
on a
in
poster.
Kenya called Agape.
Mm.
I can't remember if that's the full name, but they've reunified 3,000 children, I think, with their families since 2010, maybe.
Wow.
There's another one. I forget the name of it. Your uncle worked for them.
Salamta.
That was one of the, again, when we were reading that book, heard about this organization. They do the same kind of thing. If they can't reunify them with families, they'll do like a foster family type thing and support that family. But our main thing is get them back with their family, not like avoid foster care at all.
And then figure out how they can like sustain themselves without like needing Western support constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's becoming a much bigger thing because people are
Yeah.
realizing we're hurting more people than we're helping. So
Yeah.
I think with that model, real change can actually start to happen.
I'm hoping.
Even in
hoping
America.
for sure.
I was getting ready to say, I wish that we saw more of that in America.
Yeah.
I think that was actually a question we had for you. Like
Yeah.
the systems that you're implementing in Tanzania, like what kind of benefit would it really bring if we started doing this to like
Seriously.
orphanages in America?
I know. And it's so funny. People don't actually know that there's like orphanages here.
Mm.
You know, they'll call them like youth centers or, you know, halfway houses.
yeah, there's a lot less orphanages.
There's a lot less, but we have the foster system that's in place, but it's still corrupt. Like it's still messed up. The system isn't.
Yeah, it's tough. America, I don't know. I feel like people in Africa are way more receptive to this. The kids that have bad families here, it's not impossible, and I think people are doing it, but it feels so much harder here
Well, it's a different
to
kind of
help restore a
poverty, too,
family
though.
because a lot of kids are in a broken family because of drugs or alcohol or something, or it's not safe or whatever. The poverty level here is not the same. Like kids
It's a different
they're
type
not
of
usually
poverty.
taken from a home because of poverty. It's usually because of drugs or alcohol or
neglected.
So
Yeah,
going back
abuse.
would be much different than
yeah, it's
We'd have to model it
definitely
differently.
harder. But there's definitely systems that we have in here in America. Like food stamps are great. I think they're important. Stuff like that. Welfare is great, but I don't know for sure because I didn't start it, but it was meant to be temporary. And when you create systems that people have to depend on,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
That's what we saw with the government shutdown.
Yes.
I think 40 to 50 million people lost like 40 to 50 million people lost their food stamps during the government
Yeah, it was
shutdown.
like 9 billion a month or something.
It was something crazy. And it's like if you have that many people depending on the government for food,
know,
that can't
what's
be good. Because what would happen if we went to war? What would happen if we had a
know.
power grid failure? What would happen if we had a big crisis?
Yeah.
Right.
And just, I mean, this is a political disagreement basically that led like it can
Yeah.
be such a small thing like
It's tough
The-
because every situation's so different too. Like there's
Right,
people that
right.
really need it,
right
and then there's
right,
people that are milking it.
right
So-
having kids just to get more of it, which
Yeah,
is
Right,
and
and they're
it's
just
just-
stuck in that cycle.
it's just crazy like just because the Republicans and the Democrats can't agree on something, which is definitely not
Yeah.
a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
I
would
What?
say
What do you
so.
mean?
that's all it took. That's all
seen
it
that.
took
Yeah.
for a month of no EB. What was it like a whole month of no
November,
EBT?
right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole month of November, pretty much like food stamps were shut off.
Yeah.
You see how quickly that can happen.
people
That's-
raiding.
Yeah, it
raiding
was, it
stores.
was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That's what we want to avoid in everything we're doing over
Right.
there is, and I tell the people we're working with, even just this week, explaining it again, like, I don't want anything we do that creates dependency. Like we can give them emergency food, but it has to switch at some point where it's development. Like,
Yeah.
and that's in a book, well, in One Helping Hurts, but another
Yeah.
book, Discipling the
Discipling.
Nations. Like, actually, it's probably, I forget which one it is, but it's emergency relief is very different than development. Like emergency relief is when a hurricane hits. You don't go to them and be like, well, what do you have in your hand? You
Yeah,
just give
yeah.
them
Right,
food
right.
Yeah.
and you
give
help
a
them
place to
medically.
stay. Yeah.
Like that mama who had no house.
Emergency
You don't
mode.
ask her, what do you have? She can't walk.
She's got nothing.
Okay, we can rent you an apartment for $25 a month. Your family can live here. So that's emergency, but then it switches to development and another step. But yeah.
I will say, to kind of switch off onto that, like, you had mentioned earlier about the faces that, you know, the smile on their face when you really help them out. And I'm like, thinking like, I'm here, all this stuff. And I'm like, why am I worried about any problem that I have when there's people that don't have anything, but are going to be happy over the smallest things?
It's kind of crazy to think about. You're talking about the toilet bowl, and it's kind of a bit of a downgrade from what we're used to. Like all the things that you mentioned about, like all the things that you mentioned that this woman was over the moon excited about are things that we literally use every day.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a porcelain hole, not a dirt hole. That's
But
the difference.
I will say that they actually prefer that because they grew up with it.
Yeah.
So
they
if you give
prefer
them,
the hole.
if you give them, this is what we do. We as Americans go in and tell them problems that they didn't know they had.
That's a good point.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, you don't have all these things. And they're like, oh, I didn't know I didn't have those
know,
things. Oh no, I don't have things. And you're like, we create things in their minds to think that they have less when we're just over. I won't even call it blessed. We're just like, we just have so much stuff, and it's not necessarily wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't be so mad at yourself either. Like, oh, I'm the worst. Like, I have so much stuff. Our culture is this way.
You grew up this way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think people should feel bad.
shame yourself.
But like the toilet situation, they don't want your American toilet. Like we tell people, you can use this bathroom. Like, no, I don't want to
No,
use
believe
that.
it or not, the Africans do not want to use a real toilet.
Because it's like us. It's awkward. Like for
They
us to
don't know
do
what
it
to
how they
do.
do it versus how we do
Well,
it.
funny story. We took someone to our pastor's house who is international. He's Tanzanian, but he's the international church pastor. And it was somebody on our team. And he comes up to us. He had to go to the bathroom and he comes up to us and he's like, is there another toilet? Because they had like an American toilet. No, maybe you can go outside. I don't know. And he preferred the other, you know?
Yeah.
So it's being very careful
It
about
opened our eyes to
what you're providing. And like when you go there, you want to buy them, like rent them the best house ever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, your life sucked for so long. Let's rent you this house that you'll never be able to afford on your own.
Yeah.
So when we first rented this apartment, it was a 1-bedroom apartment with a sitting room essentially and a tiny, you can't even call it a kitchen.
Yeah.
And they're so happy about it. And you start realizing that's literally how people live there. And we got to stop looking at them through our American lenses and create a system that they can take eventually. And if they want to have more things or get a bigger house, that's on them. Like they have the power in their hands to create wealth just like we do. And to remember that we do have it much easier here. I will say that, obviously.
I mean, it's really comfortable.
The opportunity here is obviously much better.
Yeah.
But that's the mindset shift.
I will say, I'm really interested in this. I was watching another podcast and it's so comfortable here, but our suicide rate is crazy.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that it's probably not that high in Tanzania.
Nope.
No.
And it's like, makes you think. It's like the more comfortable you are.
Why do you
really
think that is? That
I think
people
it's the
seem to
type
have
of poverty that's here. So the type of poverty that's there is like material poverty or whatever. Here it's relationship poverty. And it's a sickness. Like, I don't know, the more and more I think about it, like you have all these things and it doesn't matter what your kids get for Christmas. Like if they're going to be ungrateful and they're, that's going to be their state of being is just, I'm ungrateful. It doesn't matter what I have around me. But like for the suicide rate, speaking of that, there's a poverty of relationships, health, moms and dads that are present. It's a real thing. Everyone's on the hustle. Everyone's like working, girl boss, that, I don't know, that's just my quick answer is that. I don't know if it's fully accurate, but that's just what I've been feeling. The mental health, suicide rates are through the roof. I know there's a spiritual aspect as well. But the non-present parents, non-present families, and social media.
Oh gosh. That's
I
Yeah,
think social media
That's
is the
another
worst.
bomb.
I mentioned this in another episode we did, but I heard the saying, we live in both the most connected and the most disconnected society.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Because in a way it gets people to not interact with each other.
Mhm.
What I have learned about like cultures in underdeveloped countries, they have less from a material standpoint, but I've heard they're very close to their family members wherever possible. That's why like there's such a need for what you guys are doing, because they want to reconnect with their family. Family is very, very important to them, and we kind of lose sight of that here. We have like divorce rates through the roof. We have fatherlessness is like an epidemic in the US.
This generation that can't even look people in the eye and say hello.
Yeah.
You know, like it's an epidemic.
It just goes to show there's no amount of money in the world that can make up for that.
Yeah, I think my opinion is definitely the phones and social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't even have
Big
to be
piece.
social media, but the phone and just like what it does to your brain. I think the average time an adult or a human is on their phone is 8 hours a day, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And people are like, I have no time. You're like, why?
Seriously.
I know that's an average, so not everyone's like that, because there's single moms that literally have no time. But that
Just single
social
moms,
media
not
thing is a huge
moms
problem.
that aren't single.
We just had to fight with our 14-year-old. What did you say?
I said just single moms, not moms that aren't single.
Did I say single?
Yeah.
I didn't mean single moms.
It's not a bad representation.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
single moms.
It's so
Single
true. We
moms, that's
both
what I
grew
mean.
up in a single mom home, so it's true.
You tripped me up there.
I mean,
thought
I was making a joke, but go ahead.
Yeah, single dads.
which is real. That's real.
It's a real
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the dad's got all the kids. We had to fight with our son wants social media because everyone has social media. He's 14, and we're just like, I don't want to give it to you because I know what's on there. Number one, and what like that can lead to, but also you get into the death scroll, and
Yes.
so
And just liking things that you don't even realize you're liking.
we decided that I think after hearing a podcast, like you kind of need to teach your kid how to use it. So it's not like the drinking thing where I'd rather them be drinking here than somewhere else. That's not what I mean. I mean, he needs to learn how to use social media. So we've given him 30 minutes a day on Instagram, because Instagram, according to chat, is the safest one.
Like no Snapchat. No.
No,
I know, right?
Snapchat, I can
No,
agree.
he's not
Compared
getting
to
Instagram's greasy.
Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Instagram's our favorite platform for sure.
Yeah.
That's the less censored from what we're finding out. So you can kind of see. I mean, TikTok has its freedom of speech attack totally all the way.
Yeah, TikTok is like living in a communist country. It's like you say anything, they'll just
And
ban
it's
you.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's such a problem.
It is. So teaching them how to use it and then limiting the time. We also have an app that like shows us.
Like, do you
When he
guys
looks
fall
at-
asleep with your phone next to your bed?
I'm airplane mode in the corner of the bed.
But when you
Put it
wake
on
up,
the
do you pick it up first?
No.
I started doing that
That's good.
recently, and I caught myself. I'm
Yeah.
like,
It
I
ruins your whole
noticed
day.
I don't typically do that.
I used to do it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you go to bed, last thing you're looking at is your phone, and you put it down, and you wake up, and it's the first thing you look at.
Yeah.
And like especially with the work we're doing, like it's usually negative text messages that I'm first reading or going to bed.
And the
to.
time change. So they're texting things through the night even. And then
So
you
yeah,
wake up to it.
I think it was maybe a year and a half ago. I just like the phone is.
Yeah, you're
nowhere
really
near
good.
me.
He's really good at that.
There's real science
Tried.
behind it.
Yeah, there is.
So your
Try not to use
circadian rhythm gets thrown off
Yes.
when the first thing you look at is that type of light.
Yeah.
It's like, just go
Blue
outside,
light.
And that's
step
not
outside.
not even to mention what you're looking at on your
Yeah.
phone.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Like you get a text message that something just went wrong, and you're
Yeah,
like,
and
And
give
you
that
get
to
stressed.
give that to a child with no boundaries.
Right.
What are they gonna do? Whatever makes them feel good.
Imagine the
Because-
kids like that don't have parents that care. Like what they have access to is
oh.
insane.
I heard a horrible statistic that the average age that boys are getting exposed to pornography now is 9 years old.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised.
Like 9, and it used to be like
I think
14.
I saw it
something
when
like
I
that.
was before phones. When I was
like in a magazine form.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a magazine. Like, how easy is it now?
Yeah,
Right.
now it's
One search away.
and the stuff
Yeah.
that you see is obviously a lot worse than the stuff you find
Oh, it
in a
is.
magazine.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like the fact that it makes you wonder, like kids that have never, their parents never taught them about it.
No.
Mhm.
They don't know what it is. Maybe they don't have certain values. They don't
Yeah.
know that it's harmful. They don't know that it's
Yeah.
dangerous, and they're just watching it because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, they can't stop.
It's an
Like you said, they have
addiction,
no
and then
boundaries. And it's
yeah.
like just getting an addiction that young.
I know.
It's horrifying that it's
Right.
becoming common. I think that's contributing to a lot of the mental health.
Makes you
Yeah.
like think of women like
Yeah.
horrifically. I
Mhm.
mean, it does something psychological. I can't imagine.
It makes you think of yourself
I know.
horrifically, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like that's such a thing that people have to watch out for raising kids in this generation now. Is like you
Right.
have to be very, very aware of this stuff, that the world is just
Yeah.
feeding this. 'Cause, I mean, social media is like a reflection of humanity almost, because it's basically,
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
it's unrealistic, but it's also like it's like what people are engaging with. If you have
Mhm.
millions of people liking something, that
Yeah.
gets pushed to the top. So you're seeing basically the world right in front of your face
Mhm.
as a teenager, and you're seeing
Yeah.
things you probably weren't meant to see.
Yeah.
And that's why it was hard for us to figure out, like, okay, we can't just sit here and shelter our kids from everything.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. No, you'll never get a phone. You're never gonna. Then that just creates this, like, oh, you know, this maybe resentment, or even if we're trying to explain why, but versus teaching them how to use it, and like if we come across something, how to handle that.
Yeah.
Like, they live in this world. Like, we put them on the bus and they heard some things, and then they have to come to us and be like, why were they saying this? Why did this word come out of their mouth? Like, what is this? I want them to come to me and ask me, and not try to learn it from their fellow friend who's going to tell them about it, or social media.
The interesting thing about social media and phones is they're all in every country now. Like it's so easy to get a phone,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cheap to buy internet. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens in like Tanzania, because everyone
Ooh.
now is doing the death scroll over there.
Yeah.
Really?
It's there.
Wow.
Yeah, believe it or not. So there was a
And
time
which
where phones were given by the government. Like, they did this whole thing, and
Well,
they gave
just a
everyone a
simple
phone.
phone.
That, I guess that was a
Yeah.
simple phone, but now people, if they make a little bit of money, you can buy a smartphone, and
yeah,
they're seeing, oh wait, that's how life can be.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
now
what I
like
was
kids in
going
the
through my mind
village
when
are
you
like,
said that in people in Africa, you said that we're
it's a
telling them
whole
about
mess.
problems they never knew they had.
Mhm.
And then it's like, now that we have phones and they can see.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, what life is like on social media is better
It's
than
not.
what our life is like. You know what I mean?
It
So
is. It's always like
I can-
pristine, clean houses,
I
and
can
like
only-
perfect makeup,
yeah,
and
like
perfect hair.
multi-million-dollar homes. It's like
Yeah.
I can only imagine what's going through the head.
So
of-
they think that's what we come from. And then
Yeah.
They
they're
thought
like,
that
oh, you're a
already.
walking ATM. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So that's been a,
because it's
Cool.
man, the material thing is I mean, that's why the Bible talks about it. Like we think we need these things to be happy. But if you ask anyone with a ton of money, they'd be like, I actually was worse
yeah.
when
That's
I got a ton of money. I'm sure there's some random people that are like, no, I'm super happy. They're probably lying, but unless like they are like
if they have the other things.
Yeah,
other
if
elements
they
in
have
life, the social
the other
connection.
things, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with money. Just quote that.
But I mean, money, the love of money
The
is
love
the
of
root
money,
of
yes.
all evil. And,
And it's the desire to have more things, and not be content. Like
Yeah.
the discontentment is the problem.
Yeah, there's a difference between like taking care of your family at the highest level you possibly can, and like, oh, if I don't get a Ferrari in a year, like
Right.
I'm gonna off myself because like that's
it's true.
crazy.
And there are
That's crazy.
people with that mentality.
Yes.
There are. And social media really highlights that.
So I grew up in Martha's Vineyard, and those people.
It's a nice area.
It is. There's two sides of the island. I mean, you think of it, it's like, oh, they're all billionaires. So they are, and some of them are some of the most miserable people
I can
in the entire earth. And then there's some billionaires that literally drive like their car's getting ready to fall down. Like, dude, I don't need it. Like, it doesn't make me happy. I'm like, well, you figured out something that those guys on the street haven't.
Right.
And you know,
Wow.
your kids are gonna be taken care of forever. I mean, you're a billionaire, and you're happier than the millionaire trying to make $1 billion, thinking that's gonna help him out. It's like, dude, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
It is who you hang out with too.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, if the people you're hanging out with have that mentality, it's what you see on social media, it's who you're hanging out with, it's who you surround yourself with. And yeah.
Yeah. I've got a little board down here that we're getting everybody to sign.
Oh, sweet.
Say it every time. So this is like it's gonna be like
that's
the
so
OGs.
Michael Tremblay.
I love it.
Yeah, Mike, David, two Davids, Pastor Ken.
I started watching Pastor
Another-
Ken's, but I gotta start again.
See the
Oh,
Are you guys on every platform? Like
Yeah,
Spotify,
we're on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and we're getting on Spotify as well. We're just
Sign it
fixing
bigger.
it up. We have a whole
Sign it
backlog of
bigger.
episodes. to
That's
release.
usually where I listen to
I
things.
don't know.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to get more into it.
Yeah, so Spotify. Spotify is almost good to go, and then Apple Music we need to
Nice.
figure out. Pandora too. Jeez, there's so many.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
really, once you get Spotify, you have like 90% of the people
Right.
that are, you know.
Yeah, Spotify is gonna take over, I think, because they even have like almost every book. Like if you have their subscription,
They get stingy though. They make you like you
Yeah,
only have
get
15 hours.
15
and-
hours a
Oh.
month if you have premium, and then you have to pay for
Wait,
more
what?
hours of
Oh, so don't get rid of Audible.
for
for audiobooks.
for audiobooks. So you only have 15 hours, and then you got to pay
on
more.
premium.
Yeah, on premium.
Oh, I haven't hit that limit. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't listen to enough books.
And then we've
I
got
listen
a
mostly podcasts.
we've got a gift over there. For you
Yeah.
guys. It's not much, but
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
not much,
thanks.
but we know
Yeah.
everybody drinks coffee,
I
so
don't know if you've ever had Black Rifle.
Oh no.
This is for me. Yeah, it's got
Oh
Bigfoot.
my gosh, such a funny story. Chris is a Bigfoot believer now.
I'm not a
Really?
Bigfoot believer.
Just kidding.
what do you think?
I listen to one podcast and I've told people about it, and they all think now that I believe in Bigfoot.
What do you think about the Bigfoot AI? You ever seen those videos?
No.
No.
I
Oh,
haven't.
they're really funny. So there's like this. So Google VO3 is like this AI tool where they have like you can create selfie videos, and people are making selfie videos of Bigfoot. Like they call it Bigfoot vlogs. So he'll be talking about like a deer that he just killed, and he'll have like a deer slung over his back. So that's
and they
like
look
blowing
real
up.
too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we're obviously not sponsored by that company. We will one day.
No.
Where is this company?
So I don't know where they're out of, but I really respect them a lot because they sponsor other podcasts that, like there's no censorship behind them. So like you can say what you want, and I don't know how much money, but a lot of some money goes every coffee pouch sold goes to veterans in law enforcement. So I can support that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And it's good
Thank you.
coffee too. Like it's legit. Like,
Sweet. I'm
What are
ready.
we drinking right now?
that's Black Rifle.
Oh,
Yeah, I probably made it. I didn't add any salt in there for you, so it's probably a little.
Salt.
real.
Wow.
So if
Jeez.
we're gonna be
I don't put
honest,
salt in
I'm the
so
real
maybe
coffee
next time.
person.
I just drink it.
Oh, so salt? Do you drink black coffee? I mean, that was black.
Yeah.
I didn't even offer you cream or anything.
I was
He's
pretty
a black
upset
coffee
about that.
drinker.
Yeah. So if you add a little bit of salt, like a dash of salt,
I've heard this.
the acidity is like almost gone.
I did it for the first time this morning with my own coffee. You can notice the difference.
Mhm.
Like you notice that the bitterness is just gone.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Okay.
There
Ooh,
it
that's
is.
good. Yeah, you can taste like the notes as it.
Maybe you guys
sip
should
it.
open a cafe,
yeah.
and that's where you do your podcast.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
People can
Really
like sign
cool.
up.
Like a mill building. I can see it.
Do you want to be interviewed? Sign up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we ask everybody that comes on the show, in a world that is, especially in America, that is convincing people that they don't have a purpose. And I think that's a lot of the problems that a lot of people are facing, like we mentioned, suicide rates. How can people find a true purpose in this world that's telling them that there isn't one?
Wow.
Oh, that's such
That's
a good
really an
question.
easy answer. Um, I think if you, so like there's a secular worldview that's like, I don't know enough about this, but I've been reading this book about worldviews, and it's made so much sense of, I think, to answer your question, is like a secular worldview, you kind of just live in the moment. Like there's no, it doesn't matter about the future. It doesn't matter about the past, because there's no truth. There's no moral truth. There's no whatever. So when you have nothing to hold on to or look forward to, no hope, like what's the point of your life? Like, I'm going to do all this good stuff, but it doesn't matter because the world's going to, climate change, it's just going to blow up and whatever, melt away. I don't know what they think is going to happen.
Rapture's coming.
That's true.
Yeah.
All the things.
Where like biblical worldview, theism or whatever is, and I'm not trying to sound smart because I'm totally not. I'm just reading this book and that's what they say. But I
Knowledge
really
is power.
believe it is just like, if you have nothing to base truth off of, then whose truth is right? You can't pick one.
Right.
But we're biblical worldview, and for me, my faith, I believe 100% in Jesus and that he walked the earth, that he died and rose again, that God created the world. I don't know how long it took him to create the world. Everyone's can make up their own like theories, but there's like certain things that are true. I believe that we're going to one day die and be in eternity. And I have like this hope to look forward to, and that everything we do on this earth gives me a purpose, because especially like the work we're doing, or any work that you give to, has a purpose, because now it's not for no reason. Like a secular worldview is for no reason. And then the other worldview, which I can never say, so I'm not going to even say it, is the fate. Like, this is just my fate. Like, it also doesn't give you hope. It doesn't give you a purpose, because you have nothing to live for. So for me, honestly, believing, people can call it a higher power if they want. I just call it God, like creator of the earth, and Jesus is what gives me a purpose to live. Otherwise, I've got nothing to live for. I'm just here.
There's no foundation.
What's the point of living
Yeah.
if like you get the Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Ferrari is a Swahili word.
That's a hard word.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
it's-
Or the multi-million-dollar house, or the
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
you always dreamed of. What's the point if there's nothing else after? Like, so
That's so true.
if we
Yeah.
continue to just tell people that there is no God, or that the Bible was just a crutch for people to get by, like, we're going to continue to remove that purpose from people, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't know, for me, we're in the beginning, we're created in the image of God. And so every human being has that in them. They don't know it. So they're all on their search and their journey, you know. People are led to spiritual things because we are spiritual beings. And so whether it's spiritual on the other end or spiritual on the end of God, and we're born with that Christian sayings like the God-shaped hole, right?
Yeah.
And he's created us for a purpose, and his purpose has to do with kingdom. And so I think people are just naturally on that search. And the people that I love to talk to the most are the people that are on their journey, because nothing seems to be working. And all the truths that I've found myself in aren't working for me. And so it's really cool to segue those conversations like, hey, have you tried God? Yeah, well, there's too many rules. All right, well. So yeah. I forget what your question was.
Well, you're answering
Was
it right
that
now.
it?
Well, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. What gives you a sense of purpose? Yeah.
Yeah, I think just the idea that we're made in the image of God, and a lot of people don't know that,
Yeah.
but they just have it in them.
I think what you guys are doing is like incredible. Seriously.
Thank you.
And I think like the way that you're going about it, the system is like really what's going to make a difference.
Yeah, you guys are changing the world.
You really are. I mean, I don't know.
Thanks.
I'm sure from your
You guys,
perspective,
it's
it's
terrifying.
Yeah.
it's not as great as it seems, but like seriously, you're doing something incredible,
Thank you.
and
Thank you, yeah.
it's beautiful.
You want to come? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I've-
Welcome.
I
Just
would
saying.
like to visit.
Yeah.
So did we at one point. I'm just kidding. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, me and John run the podcast from
I
Tanzania.
know. They have Wi-Fi, like when it works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys so much for
Yeah.
coming.
thank
on
you
the
so
show.
much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
There we go.
I'm gonna have to reach across.
you.
That's all right. You guys are awesome.